Hey everyone, welcome to our series called Yes. We're in week 2, and we've been talking about our big idea has been saying yes to Jesus means saying yes to his mission. So today our key thought for the day is asking you, what is your why? And there's a story when Jesus calls his first disciples in Matthew 4, verse 18. It says, as Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. At once, they left their nets and followed him. I've always asked the question, why would they drop everything and follow Jesus? I mean, they had families, they had a life of fishing. Things were going pretty well for them, but they dropped everything. If you understand the context of this story, rabbis, who Jesus was, he only called the best of the best. He only called, rabbis normally only went for the highly educated people, and all the other people were fishermen or just ordinary people. But Jesus, who is a rabbi, comes to them and says, follow me. And they look at each other and they know what this means. So they drop everything and they follow him. They had a very strong why for following Jesus. And that why grew as they got to know Jesus more and more. In our midweek service on Wednesday night, I asked our football players, I said, hey, could I convince you to stop playing football? And all of them looked at me like I was crazy, and they said, no, you couldn't stop us from playing football. And I looked at them and I said, that's because you have a very strong why. Your why is so strong that no one could ever convince you to not play football. But how often in our lives, it's not just like, hey, stop following Jesus, but why does that happen sometimes in our lives? Maybe as students, peer pressure, friends coming and trying to draw us away from following Jesus. You don't really need to go to church tonight, or hey, let's go do this, and the people and friends sometimes influence us. And the reality is that some of us can walk away because we don't have a very strong why. And unfortunately, I see that a lot as students maybe graduate, go into college, and they didn't have a very strong why for following Jesus. And I want to tell you today that your why will be the fuel that keeps you going when life gets the toughest. I know for me, when my dad passed away of cancer when he was 60 years old, one of the toughest times in my life. And I'll tell you, I had two choices: walk away and blame God, or say, you know what? God cares for me. God has a plan. And because my why was so strong, there was an intimacy and a growth that happened in my relationship with God because I had a very strong why. What is your why?